Yes, I am in a different setup again. Don't worry about it. I have moved like 3 times or 4 times since the last video. My life is fine. My life is definitely not a mess. Don't worry about it. The second season of Heartstopper came out last August, and it was more than anything I could have asked for. The cute makeout session scenes with mates on top, just lads being pals. We even got like 2 whole non-binary characters, Felix and cashier number 1. I don't know their name, but they're really cool and I would like to see them more. Please don't tell anyone, but I really, really, really want Darcy to be non-binary in season 3. Like, I want her to have a non-binary storyline, but I don't know if you're gonna get it, but I'm just hoping, because please, I really want it. However, the most interesting thing that I noticed while watching and rewatching the show was how Ben and Darcy are unexpected foils. These 2 characters have the same type of circumstances and go through the same type of problems, but the way they react to it is vastly different and very interesting. So I want to talk about it. But first off, I would like to thank my friend Bonnie for co-writing this video with me. This video would have literally not happened without them. They do face paint. If you like to check out her channel, please go give her some love. I would also like to thank the Tumblr users Black Hole Under Your Bed and Phoenix Sani, I think. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Their posts on Darcy and Ben were a huge inspiration of why I wanted to do this video. Another thing before we start, yes, I am going to be somewhat harsh to Mr. Hope. So let me remind you that he's a fictional character. Part 1. Growing up in a queer-phobic household. As we're shown in season 2, Darcy comes from a toxic family. Her mom is visibly unsupportive, abusive, and goes as far as kicking her own kid out because her prom outfit makes her look like a lesbian. On the other corner, we have Ben, who's been alluded to having unsupportive parents since all the way back in season 1 and was confirmed in his confrontation with Charlie in season 2, episode 7, that he does indeed have queer-phobic family. So they both do not have a supportive system, right? But the reactions to that could not be further apart. Darcy comes out to her friends in school to find a community at some point. We don't even know how long ago, but it's long enough that almost everyone knows. Yet she's careful not to out herself to her parents because she knows that there's a risk of her getting kicked out for good.
I'm not even out to my own parents. I don't think I ever will be. I hide who I am when I'm at home. Sometimes my mum makes me hate myself.
She's also just a really good queer friend to others. She offers a shoulder to cry on or just corny jokes to cheer people up when they need it the most.
Same-sex schools are a pointless idea generally. And I'm saying that as an absolute lesbian. She's so gross.
Lesbians are so disgusting.
What is their problem? I swear people weren't like this before we came out. Want me to throw cheese at them? Got leftover cheese from lunch.
No. It's not like they're actually saying it to my face. Why do you have leftover cheese?
Always pays to be prepared with anti-homophobia cheese.
The way I see it, long ago, Darcy realized that she needs to find a community outside of her parents' shadow because she was smart and she saw that relying on parents who make their own child hate herself isn't the right thing to do. And she just decided to take the matters into her own grubby little lesbian hands. Ben, on the other hand, doesn't even try to reach out to a queer community, even though he could. I do not want to downplay living with homophobic people, but he is in Britain. And there are many organizations and communities, people who would be so accepting and would love to help him. Yet he doesn't reach out to any of them. As Black Hole Under Your Bed on Tumblr puts it, Ben's home life isn't his fault, but refusing to be vulnerable enough to build a new home with others and causing harm to cope with that decision absolutely are. He has the resources necessary to find support. There are queer people outside of Nick and Charlie's friend group he could reach out to. They are not the only queer people in the world, okay? This scene in episode 7 is a clear showcase of how he's not willing to step towards his own community even when Charlie isn't around. And yes, there were some people in that gallery that weren't exactly a fan of him, like Imogen, but they wouldn't have like kicked him out or anything. And there are other accepting people around that could help him. Ben needs to understand that holding on to his parents and their way of living is preventing him from being himself and forming connections with others. But it's his job to change that. It's unfair and it sucks. Trust me, I know it sucks, but you cannot just complain, not do anything else about it. You are allowed to complain. It's a shitty situation, but if that's all you do, you're not helping yourself, and you're the one who has to help yourself. Part 2. The coming out rant. Okay, so I've seen this belief going around fandom spaces, mostly Tumblr. I'm not on Twitter, but I'm sure it's a hellscape on there too. That Heartstopper demonizes people who aren't out, and you're only a good person if you're not closeted. This is bullshit. Did we watch the same show? Are you okay? Is there a gas leak in your house? Do you need a cookie? What the fuck are you talking about? Are we forgetting moments like this?
I'm not really out yet or anything.
Do you want to be?
Or this?
I'm not even out to my own parents. I don't think I ever will be.
Or you know, Nick's story this entire season?
When we went to the beach, I told you I was gonna come out. But I've just been finding it so hard.
You didn't promise anything. I think there's this idea that when you're not straight, you have to tell all your friends and family immediately. Like you owe it to them. But you don't. Obviously, I want you to come out when and how you want to. And if that takes a long time, that's completely okay.
Sometimes it feels like people are intentionally ignoring what's happening in the show just to be mad. And if you are doing that, please just look at this cute cat and calm down, please. These aren't even the only examples. We have the confirmation in season 2 that Tara isn't out to her grandma. Elle saying in volume 4 how she hasn't been to Egypt for a really long time because it's dangerous for her as a trans person to be there. There is no person in Heartstopper that is fully out. That is literally impossible, both in the show and in real life. It doesn't matter how many people know your identity, there's always going to be like that one distant cousin that looks at you and they still think you're straight. There are always going to be people that assume as default that you're cishet, and that is okay. You do not owe anyone your identity, and you are not lying to anyone because you're closeted. And I think the fact that a lot of people think that's what Charlie's mad when it comes to Ben is a great sign of Ben's manipulation. Ben has a way of changing the subject from I mistreated and abused this person and then assaulted them to you're mad at me because I can't or don't want to be out to my unsupportive parents. This is a very common manipulation tactic to change the subject from something you cannot excuse yourself from to something that makes you the victim. He is trying to distract Charlie and Nick and all of us from what he did to Charlie and even Imogen, by the way, and how he mistreated them so bad. By overseeing the amount of times Heartstopper shows that it's okay to be closeted and it's not evil and you do not owe anyone your identity, we are giving him what he wants. It's honestly a very big kudos to Alice for writing such a good manipulative character to the point that he's even manipulating people in real life in the fandom spaces. But fuck that. Don't let him do that, please. He assaulted Charlie. Don't let him off the hook so easily. Part 3. Relationships. Darcy and Ben both have problems with communication and opening up. Darcy, for one, freaks out and ignores Tara's I love you. She avoids the topic entirely during the Paris trip. She has kept her own life a secret to everyone, including her own partner.
Why do you always avoid the issue? Sometimes I feel like you're hiding stuff from me. I've never met your parents. I've never been to your house, and you didn't even want to say I love you back.
It was just a casual I love you. You said you didn't mean it like that.
But you know I did. You know I do.
And like a true Chad can only talk about it if she's blackout drunk.
I love you. I love you so much. I know it sounds like I don't mean it because I'm drunk, but I really do mean it. I love you.
And while we're at it, this face she gives when someone mentions her abusive mom is so relatable. Oh my god, Kizzy, I love you and I love your acting so much. Darcy uses being chaotic and joking around as a way to ignore her suboptimal emotions. She doesn't take anything seriously because if she does, then she has to face all the harsh parts of her personal life. Speaking from experience, and yes, I do relate to Darcy a lot. What about it? It's easier to give off a sense of everything's okay with me and avoid serious conversations when you're known as the Chaos Goblin. Ben is in the same boat. It takes him until after he lost Charlie to open up about his parents or even confess to Charlie that he did actually like him. The small tear in the corner of his eye or the smile he gives when he's reminded of their first kiss shows that he does in fact like Charlie, but that isn't enough. Liking or even loving someone does not give you a pass to treating them horribly. Ben takes advantage of anything and everything he can. Again, his sin was never being closeted. It's how he abuses and uses everyone for his own gain. He exploits Charlie's understanding nature by refusing to take steps towards finding a healthier middle ground with Charlie. He ignores Charlie in front of others.
Hey,
What?
just hi.
Why are you talking to me? I don't even know who you are.
Regularly mistreats him.
Well, I believe that you're not going out with him. As if anyone would ever want to go out with someone as desperate as you. You actually thought I liked you. You were just there like some tragic loser with barely any friends who ate lunch alone every day and let bullies walk all over you. I never liked you. I'm not even gay. I just felt really sorry for you.
And then outright assaults him when Charlie confronts him about it.
Charlie, I know you like me. Stop it! Charlie, look, I like you, but I'm figuring stuff out. Literally, what more do you want from me?
He even takes advantage of Imogen, which we're told is his oldest friend, just to get under Nick's skin.
First Charlie, now Imogen. It's your mission to, like, mess up my life.
You never cared about either of them. You used Imogen for popularity points, and you didn't actually like Charlie. You just liked having control over him.
I get it, I was a dick back then, but I was dealing with my own shit. Charlie didn't even give me a chance to figure myself out, and then you came along and you stole him from me.
Ben, my man, what are you doing? What are you doing? Then, by acting like everything's happening to him and that he doesn't have any control over his actions, he tries to excuse his abuse.
That was just a misunderstanding.
It wasn't, though.
I was going through some personal stuff.
I don't care.
I know I was a piece of shit, but I really liked you. If I just had more time. My parents would never accept who I really am.
Ben's apology in episode 7 is about him, not Charlie. He stalks and ambushes Charlie against his clear boundary of not wanting to interact with Ben, just so he can apologize. If he really cared about Charlie, he would respect his boundaries. Let me tell you, if someone says they care about you, but they refuse to give you space when you've asked for it, they do not actually care about you. Ben is selfish, even in his apology. It's about him. I need to talk to you. I'm a messed up person. I want something like you too. I wanted something good. It's literally just about him. He's apologizing to make himself feel better. He doesn't even actually apologize specifically for assaulting Charlie or mistreating him, but it's just a vague, I'm sorry for everything.
I want to be like you two, but my parents would never accept who I really am. I'm sorry for everything.
The apology is about what he wants, what he can't have, what he's feeling, which means even till the end, Ben doesn't believe he assaulted Charlie, which makes him incredibly unsafe to be around. I don't even need to tell you that. We all know that Nick and Ben are foils. And I think this is a really great example of that. At first, when Ben shows up, Nick is defensive. He speaks up and he wants to instantly leave with Charlie. But once Charlie decides to hear Ben out, Nick stands back. He's there for support and in case Charlie needs help, but he doesn't speak a word in that entire conversation because he respects Charlie. He respects Charlie's autonomy. He knows that Charlie doesn't need a white knight or someone to speak for him. A clear opposite of Ben refusing to do so, which is made even more clear by Charlie's recounting of their first kiss.
Do you remember the first time you kissed me? You didn't even ask. You didn't pause to wonder whether it was what I wanted. And I went along with it because I had a crush and I didn't know any better. I didn't realise that you had all the control. When I eventually did realise, I thought, this must be what I deserve. Someone taking whatever he wants from me whenever he wants. Treating me like I'm nothing the rest of the time. And now whenever anything good happens in my life, there's a little voice in the back of my mind telling me I'm worthless and I don't deserve it. Now you want me to forgive you so you can feel better about yourself. I'm glad you realized what you did was wrong, but you don't get to ambush me into forgiving you. Sorry doesn't make up for everything you did to me.
Now let's look at Darcy. In the same episode that Ben metaphorically points a gun at Charlie's head, asking for forgiveness, we see Darcy leaving her house after standing up to her mom, stepping towards being herself. In the next episode, she finally opens up to Tara, telling her about her fears, her parents, and how she obviously isn't as confident and carefree as everyone assumes she is.
Do you remember when we got locked in the music room the second time?
Yeah.
You told me that you didn't feel as confident about being a lesbian as I did. And I wanted to be that person for you to help you through your journey.
But you are that person.
At school? Maybe. I'm not even out to my own parents. I don't think I ever will be. I hide who I am when I'm at home. I'm not confident. Sometimes my mum makes me hate myself. But then you said I love you. But what if that person doesn't even exist? You've only ever seen half of my life.
And now I've seen the other half. And I still love you.
I am so in love with you. I'm bad at saying it.
Well, practice makes perfect.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
She is vulnerable, specifically about the I love you situation, and she promises to do better by practicing to say I love you back. I also want to make a big distinction here. As Phoenix Sani puts it, there's a difference between your behavior and actions hurting someone and willfully hurting someone. Are you putting your fear and self-hatred onto others? If you do that, and if you horribly mistreat someone in the process of doing that, then you are not owed their forgiveness. You are not owed a place in their life. Love is a verb. A big criticism of season 7's apology scene is how Ben isn't hurt at all. And since it was confirmed that he's not going to be in the show anymore, he was never given a redemption arc. Charlie is the survivor, and his voice is the one that we see is heard in this scene and in the whole show really, which is a really nice change because there is sometimes a sympathy for abusive characters that they don't always deserve. It's almost refreshing to see Ben's actions being recognized as these horrendous things he did to Charlie, because they really were. However, I want to make it clear that just because Ben didn't get his redemption arc in the show, I don't believe that means he won't ever change or become a better person. It just means that his story is not central to what we're watching. Ben is a victim too, a victim of homophobia and toxic masculinity. People like Ben can change, but only if they want to. and if they get the help they need. Ben's last scene in the show is him refusing his queerness after trying to manipulate Charlie into forgiving him. It doesn't really seem like someone who wants to change. On the other hand, even though Darcy's actions did absolutely hurt Tara, she never goes as far as actually abusing her. That doesn't excuse her behavior, which is why she acknowledges it and apologizes for it. But at the end of the day, there is a difference between making a mistake and hurting your loved ones in the process and abusing someone and then trying to manipulate them into forgiving you. User Black Hole Under Your Bed puts it wisely. If the behavior of someone who feels love for you is indistinguishable from someone who doesn't, those feelings mean nothing. Because love is a verb. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think about this whole thing in the comments. Like and subscribe if you want, but no pressure. I'm really hoping we get a season 4, by the way. Please give us our season 4. I need it. I need it. I will die. I will die. Thank you. I love you. Have a great 2024. Yes, I am dating this video. Oops. But have a great year. Bye.